Hi, my name is Beth Gondek, and I'm going to be talking about Edgar Allan Poe. Okay, specifically focusing on the raven, the telltale heart, and the bells, and the elements that are used throughout these works. Okay, so Poe's careful use of repetition of sound to convey emotion, rhyme and meter, connotations, imagery, and symbolism enable Poe to still be relevant today and make Poe one of the greatest American writers of all time. Okay, so when we focus on some of these elements in the telltale heart, focusing on repetition of sound and rhyme and meter. Repetition of sound to portray various emotions in the reader are used in the telltale heart. And according to Reynolds, they talk about the second to last paragraph, how he repeats specific words such as sound and noise, and ends with the repetition of louder, louder, and how the repetition has a purpose, and forces certain words, gets the reader thinking about specific sounds, and in this case, has the reader questioning the narrator's sanity. According to MacDonald, poets may choose to use a rhyme to emphasize a certain point, even if the poem doesn't actually rhyme. And these musical devices and rhythms are used to convey and add meaning to a word and emotion to a word or phrase, or even the entire poem. So in the telltale heart, the original rhythm of a heartbeat, so people find specific rhythms to be soothing, and how a rhythm can stir a sense of anticipation in a movie soundtrack. Similar in writing. And as a past music teacher, I taught music for about 10 years in New York before teaching English. One can also conclude that rhythm gives music, and in this case poetry, structure, and helps to keep it organized as well. And Poe uses a lot of rhythm and repetition of sounds in a lot of his works, and these specifically in The Raven, he uses it pretty much throughout the entire poem of rapping and tapping, having symbolic meaning as well, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. 'Tis some visitor, I muttered, tapping at my chamber door, only this and nothing more. So even in music, again, bringing it back to that musical element in literature and writing, how in Beethoven's Fifth, that opening theme, bum, 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 can be viewed as fate knocking on the door. And Poe intertwines a lot of musical elements in his writing and plays with sound and tries to activate emotional responses for the reader. In the bells, this is used. Repetition of sound and rhyme and meter are used throughout this poem as well. The sound of a bell itself is musical, that it makes. He takes it one step further, talks about what their melody foretells, and gives rhythm to the bells through literary devices such as alliteration when they tinkle, 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 and how they're keeping time in a sonic rhyme. So similar again as well, these devices to help portray meaning and emotion, and how he can be seen to this day as one of the greatest American writers of all time, and just examples in his writing on how he does that. Well, thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you have a good day.